Hey man!
Alright.
What the hell? The most famous man on my Instagram. How are you doing? What's happening? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I was saying to Liam, so during lockdown, at the point when like everyone started cutting their own hair,
Yeah.
I was getting a text like once a day. At one point, it was like 2 or 3 texts a day. I was like,
that's mad. Yeah. That went down. Honestly, that couldn't have been a better video. Really. You know what I mean? It went down so well.
And I was at a music festival, and someone come up to him, and he was like, "This is gonna sound a bit weird, but are you that guy from that haircut video?"
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah, it's
he asked for a picture with me.
No way! Wow, that's strong. He's watching, you know. He'll be watching now, you know. So, yeah, what are we thinking of doing?
I quite like it. It's long and very messy at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'd like it to be tidied up, but I'd like to keep a fair bit of length in the top.
Okay.
I run and cycle quite a lot. And
okay.
If I've got it long, I like to be able to tie it up.
Okay.
So
you still want to be able to tie it up.
Long enough to be able to tie it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Tidied up a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
When I kind of leave it, like don't wash it too often, it goes quite curly. So I quite like it to be like have a bit of volume, but it's also like very, very thick.
Can I show you a slight challenge? Be a slight challenge.
I'll show you a picture. Timothee Chalamet.
Oh yeah, of course.
So I'm like that.
Okay. Yeah. He has a hairdresser doing it for him.
That's true. Yeah.
That's the main thing, right? Yeah. So are you gonna have like she'll have probably 45 minutes to an hour, I'd imagine, to be able to style his hair the way it is on them pictures.
Yeah.
To like red carpet events and stuff. So every bit of that look is orchestrated from the shoes to the hair, right? Are you gonna have the time if you're doing a lot of running, a lot of cycling? Are you gonna have the time lifestyle-wise to be able to style?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
I generally get up, have a shower, leave my hair wet, and just let it dry.
Let it dry. Okay.
Yeah.
That's where the expectation versus reality comes in. So the expectation of looking like that, yeah, we can do it, but the reality is you've got to spend time doing it.
I might look like that once every 2 weeks.
All right, but if you're willing to do it, that's a good thing, you know. But yeah, that sort of look. Essentially, what we need to do is have it more top heavy. Yeah. That's essentially what we need to do for this kind of look, right? So back and sides. When you say tidied up, do you mean like taken up a little bit?
Well, taken up a bit at the moment because it kind of
you can see the shape
hides my face quite a lot.
Okay.
Like
if you hang it down like that. All right. Because I think if we were to base it on a Timothee Chalamet hairstyle, right, that would be the sort of best way to look at a length to choose as well. Yeah. Because again, his looks tidy, but because it's styled that way. You know what I mean? It's still tidy. It's still like messy on the neck and the ears and stuff like that. But the cut has been done so well that it looks completely like, you know, you can tell it's been styled well and it's been cut well. You can see it in the shape, right? So I think if we to use that image as our guide, I think everything else will fall into place. But again, we still want to be able to tie it up. That's the key. So there's a lot of length. You wouldn't be able to tie the neck up though.
No.
You're happy with that?
To just leave that.
Yeah, it's more just off your face. So where if you were to pull it from here, and to tie that back so it was away from your face like that, that's cool. Because we would be leaving a lot of top length anyway. We just don't need kind of like when you pull it back, right, you'll see the bits that fall out. That's the length that you need to keep it at, because that's the length that just about fits in here, right? That would actually, when you put a bobble in it, it would actually stick out, which is what we need. We need that little bit of leeway, right? The rest of it here though, you don't need all that. That's just in the way, realistically. So if we were to use that as a guide to remove length off the back and sides. So we take the back and sides up. We showcase your face a bit more so you can get more recognised, which would be clever. And then what we do is obviously shorten the back and sides a little bit down through the sides here as well to kind of show off that kind of top heaviness, if that makes sense. But the thing is, all I'll say, right, and I hope this sinks into everyone watching at home, effortless hairstyles take a lot of effort. Cool, right, well let's get this shampooed and conditioned, mate, and then we'll get started. Right. Such a blast from the past, man. I couldn't believe it. It was not, because I don't, like, the thing is, Liam doesn't tell me anyone who's coming in, because I prefer it that way, because I will overthink. You know, if I knew you were coming back in, I'd be looking on your video at your neckline and your hair and your face shape and all this and all that. But that was like 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was like 2019, maybe. Yeah. So it was a while ago. So things can change. I mean, you don't look any different, but I do.
You do actually,
yeah, I do. So how are you dealing with your newfound fame?
It's gone to my head very much. So
yeah.
I've turned into a...
He had sunglasses on until I told him to take them off. You know what I mean? We're indoors, mate, you know what I mean? I'm joking, never really. But Yeah. Was it really strange though? Like because in lockdown that's where the channel really sort of got some exposure.
Yeah. It was, as I said, like literally like once a day I was getting a text message.
That's bonkers.
And I mean, at the time, I actually hadn't realised that I was coming in for a video on the occasion that I came in.
Didn't you?
So I hadn't actually ever seen the video until the first person texted me. And then, like, on a daily basis, I was just getting this, and I was like, oh, I didn't sign up for this.
You signed the waiver at the end, remember?
No, I know.
That's what the waiver's for. Right, so, nicely shampooed and conditioned. And what we'll do is we'll start with the back and sides first, okay? Because, again, the top is the sort of the prominent finish of this haircut, and also we've got Timothee Chalamet as a bit of inspiration, but we've also got to keep it in a pony. That's the key thing, and I think that'll be the most important thing in this haircut, I think, personally, because if you can't tie it up, it'll get on your nerves.
Yeah.
Horseshoe section to start off with, work it around like that. I'm going to start off with picking the length on the back and sides. Now we talk about being clean and tidy, right? Now I think personally, we should probably lose about a third of the length on the back and sides. Let me just show you that, okay? So if I was to, as you can see, it's all long layers. This has been 9 months of growth. It'll all be the same length, right? What about if we were to take off, say, I reckon about that much on the sides, and then we'll match the back a bit shorter as well, so it looks a little bit cleaner. And then that way the top will stay the heaviest.
Yeah, that sounds, so I think as long as I can still tuck it behind my ear.
Yeah.
Because that's the easiest way
100%,
to wear it.
Oh yeah, you'll definitely be able to tuck it behind your ear, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to take off about that much, okay? Put it down here. Now, moment of truth. So that's still go behind the ear.
It's too late if it doesn't.
Too late if it doesn't, but look, it's right at the hook, where we said, right there. Perfect. There we go, we'll pull it out again, work into the middle, following the guide that I was working on before. There we go. So, sticking to 2-finger in width, what we need to do now is just follow this guide through the back. Now, as we've reached the back, I'm going to start to take the nape shorter, because that's the shape that I want to create. I think the sides can be longer, the nape can be shorter. That will benefit for the look we're trying to achieve of the Timothee Chalamet look, but I also want it to benefit the actual style that is going to be worn day to day, because Timothee isn't going to be worn day to day, right? It's going to be a lot of running, lot of cycling, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. Very, very active lifestyle. We don't want to have a haircut that's going to manage that. So we can tweak these little bits here, a bit shorter here, take the sides in a tiny, tiny bit more, but we'll still maintain that same type of texture as well. With my guide. And that still comes around. Doesn't kick out, but it does finish where I want it to, just under there as well. Perfect. So I'm going to cut in the side length now, okay? I'm going to take it, the shortest length is there, okay? I'm going to point cut into this. I'm point cutting.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, man. Probably one of your fans, mate, don't worry about it.
That will be.
Now I'm going to pull this over now, because I want this to tuck around like so, but then I want this to sit nicely as it sits back into behind the ear. So I'm going to pull this around. So if you've seen on some of the other videos, I've left like the length just to sit in the pocket there, but with this I want this to kind of match up so the way the sides will be pushed behind the ear, because again it'll look nice down, but it'll also look really nice when it's pushed back. And I think I've got a feeling Stephen's going to wear his hair probably pushed back more than he is like Timothee Chalamet.
I do push it back.
You do
like
push it
most
back,
days, yeah.
And then you just do a bit of freehand, just to make sure everything sits nice. And that is exactly what he wanted. So you're doing like a cross graduation. I'm going to start to shorten the neckline now. So I'm going to use the guide that I've cut from here, which is there, and cut that nice and straight. But again, point cutting into it. and pull all that down. And what you'll start to see is a little bit of movement, and a little bit of shape, but also a lovely graduation, which is falling nicely in to the back as well. You've got a nice graduation falling in. So if that was textured, razored, movements, diffused, that would look like Timothee Chalamet from the side. But also, it's going to look like Stephen, everyone knows him as, straight on. Pull this down, shortest length is at the front there, also matches up to the side. That in. So there's the guide that I'm going to use to straighten up. Fingers is the angle I want it to be at, and then match up to the top bit there, and match around. Like so. And then you just freehand it. Pull all the way down. Now, I'm going to add the razor to this, but I'm not going to add the razor to the sides, because if I take any shorter layers to the sides, they might fall out when Stephen pushes it back. So I'm only going to do this to the back, and I'm going to slide through with the razor, like so. And that's what we've got to remember, is that I want his hair to fall back. I want to give him the things that work well for his everyday style, and then also I'm adding these bits in that work for that. Like you said, maybe every couple of weeks you might look like Timothy, right? But that's the reality. That's a good answer, because that's the reality. That's what I needed to hear, right? Because no point in me doing a Timothee Chalamet haircut on you full on that you're only going to wear once every 2 weeks, because then you might hate it every other day, you know? As we get down here, I'm going to raise it a bit more because it's super thick. I'm going to do that nice and straight on now as well. Just because the neckline is still very thick, so a little bit of freehand, just to thin that out a bit more. Onto the top. This is where you see that really change and balance now of where the hair's a lot longer on the top compared to the back and sides. You can really see the difference in how much length we've actually taken off, can't you? And the way I'm going to do this haircut is I'm going to use the sides as my guide, okay? So what I do, take a section right from the front to the back. I'm going to bring this all the way down to the sides. I'm going to use that as my guide, right there. So that way we're maintaining a lot of longer layer all the way through, but we are still giving him the kind of Timothee Chalamet-esque finish, right? Like so. Just don't forget, we've still got that ponytail to manage, okay? So we need to leave a lot of length on the top. Now this is the round of the head. This isn't really the top of the hair, okay? It's only just gone into his hairline. I'm going to bring that down. Now this is going to come down and back at the front. So we're maintaining more length at the front, okay? It's going to come all the way down, like so. I'm going to pull this over here, like that. I'm going to cut. Again, it's Timothy's style, but it's also great for the pony as well, that we need to think about as well. So we're leaving a lot of length sitting through there. That's getting a bit shorter, so as you can see, by pulling that away, it just graduates it longer. And as you look there, that still comes back to where we need it to. Okay. Another one, right down the middle. Put it in at a centre part, but allow for the centre part to be removed at the same time. Alright, same on the other side now. Just around the head to the side, so we've got that connection point within the build up to the top length. I'm working this all around to the same length. Less and less hair comes off, which is ideal, that's what we want. End up with the same thing, see. Let's start with this top bit now. So remember, we've got the guide at the front. We need to use this guide here, because this is the bit that falls into the pony, okay? So we've got to use that as our guide. We pull this up, we pull it back, and we take away the little point just after the first section. This way we can graduate it short, because we know this is going to fall back into the pony, because if the front bit does, then this bit will. So we're following the same guide. Bring this out, we're connecting this bit here. I always do this on a really chunky slide cut, and that way it's a very nice, uneven finish. little tiny bit. Over directing that back, like so, and we'll remove that to the guide, okay? And we're also still at the height of a ponytail as well, so you can still wear the hair back into the pony. There's a guide I'm using from the front there. All the way through the back, like so. Your little point, take that off. A little bit off there. I'm going to miss out the front, but I'm going to razor through this top bit here, again through the back. So that falls really nicely into the bottom. You can see how that length that's coming off. Maintaining still loads of length as well. That falls nice. That's all I'm going to do, I think. I think we'll still get what we need out of this. With all the little external things that we need to think about, I think will work nicely for Stephen. And all it comes down to now is the styling of it, okay? So, your everyday styling could just be tuck behind the ear, like so, and just brush back.
That's what I do most days.
That's your everyday style. So if you can see now, you've got a nice length, it's very neat, it's very tidy, you've still got the flicks, but you've still got length at the bottom, right? Which is nice, right? It all still sits on the collar, which is perfect for the neckline, because it just balances out the neckline through the back there, right? So you've got little bits that will still fall, but it can also be tucked back. If you were to wear it into a pony, you'd be able to take it, separate this at the front, bring this all the way back, and do you remember that little bit we were talking about at the start that you didn't need? That's the bit that's gone. So here's the front now. That's the guide I was using. It all still fits in to the back now. So you can wear that back as well, okay? Right. Timothee Chalamet. Right, so what am I going to use for that? I'm going to use this. This is a foam, okay? And this is like a sort of salt spray in a foam, okay? Right. So it holds a little bit better, but it's lightweight. So it's not going to lift your hair too much. We want gravity to work, but we also want a little bit of volume. If you put a product in that's too heavy, you'll lose volume, okay? Especially the way you're going to style it, okay? This is going to be every now and again. I want this to be very easy for you to do, okay? So I'll wear this off like that, right? I'm going to bring this in a very separated, zigzaggy kind of centre part, okay? I'll let that fall like that, okay? And then once that's dried in a tiny bit, just naturally, I'm going to put a little bit of thickening lotion in there, because I know it might sound really weird, but thickening lotion will give the more volume in it because it'll thicken the root, right? So what I'm going to do there is just through here, through the front, is I'm going to spray it on to the root, like that, okay? I'm lifting it up and spray it on. That's why I said to you before, are you going to spend time on your hair doing it? Because this is the sort of effort you'd have to go to get it. It's not a lot of effort really, but it's more effort than you'll be used to, right? And then I'm just going to pick little bits up and I'll put this into the root, okay? Like that. Now, diffuser on the hairdryer, medium speed, okay? Now what I do is I want you to lean your head over and we're going to dry in this into the diffuser like that, okay? Now, in one quick sort of turn, will you just flick your hair forwards for me? That's great. Now, what I need to do now is flick your hair back for me. Perfect. Hey, Timothy.
There he is.
There he is. And that is the Timothy look, right? So that's how you can create that. With everything that we've put into this today, this is how you can create that kind of wilder, more textured look, right? Bit more volume at the top, as you can see, right? You've got a little bit more volume sitting through here now. Work that in and let that stand out a little bit. And you've got the hold and the shape, right? So that's the sort of, this is the sort of way you can wear it if you want to be really heavily styled, okay? But as you saw before, everything that you need on a daily basis is still there. Ponytail can still be put in when you're doing your training, you're doing your exercise and whatever else. You can tuck it behind the ear still, so that still comes behind the ear if you want it to. As you can see, when it's dry, it still sits behind the ear, and you can wear it like the way Timothee Chalamet wears his as well.
Spot on.
Happy, yeah?
Yeah. Just going to have to get myself a diffuser now.
There we go. I'm surprised you're not getting them sent for free now, you're famous, mate. Well, yeah.
Absolutely spot on. Thank you very much.
Awesome, man.
Once I'd grown my hair this long, I was like, I can't trust anyone.
Yeah, no, that looks great, mate. That looks awesome, mate. Thank you so much,
Great
man.
to see you.
You too, mate. All the best.